Welcome to the Peachtree Podcast. Peachtree Learning Center is a nonprofit in Middle Tennessee dedicated to training and discipling students in all the fine arts to become excellent and skilled in order to spread the kingdom of God into the world of the arts. On this podcast, we will discuss topics designed to encourage, uplift, educate, and equip people to proclaim the kingdom more deeply in their own families and communities. Hello again, and welcome to this latest version of Peachtree's podcast. We are celebrating the end of our school year, celebrating a little bit of downtime before we start our summer camp season. We ended the year with a really fun afternoon event we call Spring Fling, which is kind of a combination of outdoor activities, a big bounce house, some food trucks. This year we added in a fun inside marketplace with students and businesses from the area coming together to offer some really creative products and foods and samples. We had some live music out there most of the afternoon, and it was just a really creative and excellent afternoon of fellowship and fun. Had a great time together, kind of a send-off to everyone from Peachtree for this summer. And we had a huge obstacle course that we rented from a local place. Everything we did was using local vendors, and it's just a really sweet way to bring community together and enjoy one more big fun event before we kind of kiss the year goodbye and tell everybody see you in August. But today I wanted to talk about some big things happening this summer at Peachtree, because we always have summer camps. This year we have, I think, more than possibly ever before. We have over 30 summer camps listed, and enrollment has been strong. I wanted to point out some special things about our camps that are kind of unique from other opportunities. And so this will be more for people in our area to listen to and kind of understand what we do, especially if you're new to the area. We have a ton of really creative teachers at Peachtree, and we have several Peachtree teachers who do more than one thing well. So the camps that we offer a lot of times are very unconnected, disconnected to the classes that you see these people teach during the year. So, for example, Katrina Howell is a teacher of one of our American Girl classes and does a great job studying American history through American Girl dolls. It's a great class for a middle-aged girl. There's an American Girl 1 level that is for younger girls, and then Katrina teaches the middle-age level. But she also used to work in a vet's office, so she's worked with animals and pets for a very long time. Her daughters are all heavily involved in horse activities and have learned stadium jumping and show jumping, and are just really great equestrians. And so she offers a variety of camps centered around animals, and you might not know that she has that in her background, but she's very good at that. So she has a horse museum camp coming up. She has a really sweet camp next week that's called Presidential Pets, and you're going to study American history through the pets that lived in the White House, which is a sweet idea. She's got a couple of other camps this summer, one on snakes, one on large and small cats. She has just a good variety of animal-centered camps. Her most popular camp is Pet Vet, and she has 2 different levels of ages for that camp. And so it's just a great example of someone who teaches one thing at Peachtree, but then has this other gift in her background and brings that out and uses it in the summer for camps. So those are some fun camps coming up. And then Lori Vaughn, who's our drama teacher and also our primary art teacher, has got just a tub of really great camps. Her 3-2-1 action camps for both age groups will end in a play that we contract out with a local theater to perform. And they put together the entire production in a week. So they start on Monday morning. They go 9 to 4, so they bring a lunch, and they're there all day, every day. It's the only camp that we offer that goes through Friday. But on that Friday of each week, she'll have a play that night. And she's got one of those camps for 8 to 11-year-olds, and then another one for 12 and up. And those are both always, this will be the 3rd or 4th year we've done them, and they're just always really, really fun. The group bonds very well as they work together, and then the play that they plays they put on are always really sweet and fun and lighthearted, and they do it in a week, so it's really fun to watch that come together. And then she also does one for the smallest thespians in your family that she calls Ready, Play, Action, and it's for 5 to 7-year-olds, and it's really like a camp for her intro to drama students. And so they'll actually play lots of games, and they'll learn stories, and they'll kind of figure out how to create a character, and they've even built their own set pieces and props in this camp. It is a half-day camp like all the rest of our camps are, so it's only for mornings, and it only runs Monday to Thursday. So it's a short, sweet set of time that those younger students can sort of dip their toe into the water of getting to be on stage and learning how to come on and off stage and how to become a different character. This year we've got some creative camps coming from one of our other teachers, Eli Pryor, is offering literature through film for boys, and he's got a couple of different age groups for that. And they're going to look at some age-appropriate films and talk about the books that they came from. So the younger class is doing Sergeant York, Swiss Family Robinson, It's a Wonderful Life, Johnny Tremaine. They're doing some different things. And they're going to be looking at the books and then watching, I think, pieces of those films in camp. So it's not just sitting watching movies all day or all morning, but it's kind of talking about how the book was adapted into the film and what that looked like and what might have been left out versus what was included. And then he's doing another one for boys older, 13 and up, and they're doing movies including a Sherlock Holmes movie, The Maltese Falcon, The Blue Carbuncle, The Quiet Man. All of those are for older boys, and those all came from literature. So that's a fun idea for camp. Leah Zimmerman has taught dance here, and she's also taught some preschool classes, and she's here this summer teaching a couple of camps, one on medieval art and history. So you'll learn about royalty and castles and the feudal system, and then you'll also talk about the fact that that imagery is very applicable to our Savior, who's the King of Kings. She's going to talk about that in her camp. And then she's offering another one that's based on the fun TV show called Wildcrats. It's an animal science camp. And so they're going to, this year, she's going to take you camping, and you're going to study about animals found in the Smoky Mountains, animals that are local to Tennessee, which is a really fun twist on an animal camp. Adana Pryor is offering a literature through film for girls camp. So it's strictly for girls, and I think that's really fun to be able to just pull girls or boys together and look at movies that they would specifically enjoy. So her oldest camp is watching and reading about Little Women and Rebecca. Her younger camp is doing Lana, the Witch in the Wardrobe and The Secret Garden, among others. And it's just a creative way to look at books and movies together and how they differ and what plot points work in a book versus what character traits work in a movie. I think that's a really fun way to look at that. Lori also teaches a lot of our art, as I said, and she's got some really just fantastic ideas for camps that have just weathered the test of time. So she's got a Celebrate Creativity camp for 6 to 10-year-olds, and they're going to be talking about the truth that we find in inspired creativity. And they're going to be doing lots of art and games and listening to music and talking about creativity and the image of our Creator. And she has a powerful camp called Assemblage and Altered Books and Art Journaling. And they're going to do some reclaimed material work, and they're going to learn about how to put art in your own personal journal. She does some 3D artwork in her journal, and just looking through her journal is an inspiration, and being able to see how she works art into those things is really powerful and very inspirational, honestly, for people who maybe learn in a visual way or learn through hands-on activities. It's a great way to work scripture into your journal, but in a creative way. It's a beautiful thing. Eli is coming back later in the summer and doing a World War II camp, which has been very successful in past years. He always does a great job of talking about all the armory, all the history of the planes and how they came to be and which side used what planes and which tanks work. And he's got lots of hands-on fun stuff to do there. Katrina is also coming back and doing a body systems camp, and they're going to be talking about the 5 senses and the different systems and doing some STEM skill stuff as well as some art projects. Lori Vaughn is also doing a collage camp, 2 different ones for different age groups, and that's super fun to watch them come together and just pull out random materials and put collages together. Then she also has Eat, Create, and Travel, which are 2 levels of that. And she's done extensive worldwide travel herself. So she comes back with, she brings out some just memorabilia from her own travels and puts that out with recipes from different countries. And they use that to create kind of a travel the globe camp through food and experiences that she's had. And they do some artwork in there, of course. Olivia Atkinson does an herbalist camp. So she's here primarily as a music teacher. She also teaches American Girl 1, but she has an herbalist background. She studied that in high school and has a license. And her Young Herbalist camp is always really a fun, hands-on camp. She has an extra material fee for that because she buys all the herbal basics that you'll need to do these preparations and take home at least 2 or 3 products every day. These children end up with 10 or 12 different herbal preparations to take home, teas and salves and different kinds of things. And she gives them techniques and recipes. They leave with a binder full of stuff to go home and search out in their own yards and make things from the plants that they grow at home, which is really, really fun to watch young people get excited about that. That's a heritage skill that's just great. And another camp I wanted to point out is Elephant and Piggy. It's for our youngest students. And Elephant and Piggy books are really, really sweet books for young children. And she does a morning camp. Heather teaches a lot of our literature classes and has children at Peachtree still. And she does this camp with lots of art, playing games, and then learning about Elephant and Piggy through their stories. And that's a really cute camp as well. So I wanted to just highlight many of the camps that we have this year. There's so many to talk about, and that's not all of them, but they're all found on our website. If you go to peachtreelearningcenter.com, they're mostly all the same price because most of them are just 3-hour camps. So you're there for a total of 12 hours. You go Monday to Thursday, either a morning session or an afternoon session. And something else to know about our camps is they're all pretty small. We only let 10 or 12 people in most of them, unless with some of the camps we can put in the big room, we'll add an aide and maybe let 15 people in there. But that only happens for camps that we can use more space, our bigger space, and that we can for sure have 2 teachers in there, because I really like having a small student-to-teacher ratio and not letting a teacher just have a huge group of students that she's having to kind of herd. It's more fun to have a smaller group and then let them really focus in and learn some things, but also have a good time together. So those are some highlights. Again, check out the whole list on our website. Registration papers are there too. Camps start for us next week, which will be the day after Memorial Day. We're doing a couple of camps that are Tuesday to Friday next week because of the holiday. And then we jump back in and start with Monday to Thursday schedule. We don't have anything offered the week of July 4th because of the holiday being in the middle of the week. It's kind of hard to schedule around that. And I know that's a big week for people to be out of town or going on trips to see family. So we don't have anything scheduled that week. That's a down week. But other than that, the whole month of June and the whole month of July, we have several camps offered every week. And we also try to pair it up with different age groups available at the same time. So if you wanted to put 2 or 3 siblings in a camp, there should be something for each of them most of those time slots. So hopefully that serves your family well. And the other thing I wanted to talk about on this podcast was our yard sale. So we are starting our assembling of funds, if you will, for expanding our building on our property. We are starting that with a humongous yard sale next week on June 2nd and June 3rd. It'll be from 8 in the morning till I believe 2 in the afternoon. At Peachtree, we have an empty lot that we use for outdoor games and fun things now, and that's going to be, I believe, completely covered with material that has been donated, items that have been given to us to sell. It's going to be just a ginormous yard sale. And there are books, there are games, there are puzzles, there's curriculum, there's also tons of clothing, there are appliances, there's furniture, there are paintings, there's all kinds of things. And Peachtree will have a few things out there ourselves. We'll have new note cards that we've made from artwork in our classes. We'll have some T-shirts out there to sell if we can get those moved through. We'd love to be able to start fresh this fall with some new shirts. So the shirts that we have now will be on sale out there as well. And probably have some snacks and that kind of thing to sell too, just to make it a fun experience. But please spread the word amongst your friends and neighbors and your family. Ask them to come check out our yard sale, and feel free to add a donation on top of whatever you spend. I believe we will have our system set up to be able to take credit cards out there or debit cards, so you don't have to just have cash, but we do plan to take cash and checks also. And it's hopefully going to be a way that we can kick off having some funds available to start exploring how to expand on our property to be able to accommodate the number of people that we have in lessons and classes. We've really grown a lot and feel like the Lord is leading us to expand the footprint there. So we're looking for ways to build up some funds to get that started off on a good way. So please come out and support that yard sale next week. Again, that's June 2nd and 3rd. And check out our slate of camps. And we hope and trust that you are having a great beginning to your summer. And we look forward to seeing you sometime over the summer at one of these fun events. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. To support this podcast, please go follow us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you're interested in knowing more about the work of Peachtree, please go visit our website at peachtreelearningcenter.com for more information.